ועבדת, and you shall serve, to labor, to do work. So instead of worshipping God, then serving Him, they have worshipped other gods. Therefore, serving other gods with little g, they're idols, they're dumb, they're nothing. Therefore are being given to their enemies. And reading the previous verse, Devarim 28:47, because thou servest not Yehova Elohecha with a joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Now they are given to Ibyech, their enemies. And we covered Ayev from Pros Romaeus 12, our previous studied verse. And is the proud people to fist with a bunch? Thy tent. Therefore adversary, opposition, who persecutes you and hates you very much, who is a hostile group that can also be a military force. Yeshlechenu, which will send or let loose to stretch out, and shalech, impressing and goading with a staff. Go, go, at thy walls, all has been set apart. And Yehovah is who did it, and is Yehovah who let loose our enemies. As Yehovah, who also fists with a punch. Now this punch's hard too! Is the greatest punch of all! With fast movement, given that he works in the Spirit, and the Spirit is truly fast, to secure with the biggest nail of all, an alert and a wake-up call. In Bach against you, says the text. But it's not. Bach is in you. And you say, well, but that's first time. You don't say a sense in us, but against them or us. But that's not how Yehovah works. He sees that the heart is not tamed at all. So that's where he offers his punch. As many, the biggest punch, so he can penetrate deep inside you, the inner man, to tame it. And with what? Bera'av, in hunger. Again, we covered this one in Pros Romaeus 12. Ra'av, I mentioned to the top, but it's actually the man who is bent over in poverty and servitude, in the darkness, as the body separates unto death. Therefore you're no lingering with Father at all. But not only that, uvetzama, and in thirst. And tzameh, again covered before, is in hunting, Imatria 18 of Tzadi, is prayer, temple worship, true life, eagerly to having this covenant of love and eternity, and having unity with the leader. And not having this at all causes you to thirst. Uve'eirum, and in nakedness, no concealment or cover. And this could represent having no eternal righteousness. Because looking at Eirom, as thou perceivest that before the congregation, the man who is bent over in poverty has no Mashiach of the concealed word. And you can consider ourselves as suffering brides. The period right now to be covered with eternal righteousness, that we will not be presented ourselves naked before the bridegroom. That's why Yehovah is truly mad. How can you be naked before my son who is marrying you? And with that shame, it will cause their heart to change. But not only that, there is more. Oh no. Uvechoser kol, and in need, lacking or wanting. Again, poverty. This word poverty is everywhere, isn't it? As being deficient, of cutting short. And choser is on the outside and hated of all thy deeds, or at all starts. And kol is what could have been an open container to you if thou would have been with open hands the instruction. Now you don't have it anything at all, and therefore you are lacked of all deeds. Now that's sad, because you can do nothing of your own terms. And if that is not enough, venochen all. and he will put a yoke. And Nathan is going to be a weird case, because is the servant in humility that in completion and letter nun sofit of Gematria 50 could represent freedom, a jubilee, given that he said that the exodus from Mitzrayim, Egypt, is mentioned 50 times in the Torah. Therefore there is a sense of completion, that the humble servant at completion will be made right. But it's not a nice, softy, cozy wooden yoke, but that of iron, berzel. Heavy, ductile, magnetic material element, in pure form, readily rusts, and is used in construction, and tools, and armament, and is harsh, represents strength and oppression. Because given with berzel, you can build or divide. It depends on how the tools are used for. Therefore, to begin with the weapons or plowshares, to yoke. El zevarecha, on the back of your neck. And the neck is narrow compared to the rest of the body as it connects the head to the body. And looking at zevar from zur, to lay siege. And isn't this connected with Mitzrayim, double straight, or besieged places, Mitzrayim? Therefore they are yoked on the back of their neck, on zevar, the suffering trail that acts or connects to the oxen's head. Therefore our power being yoked. It until as far as or in perpetuity of time. Yehovah's timing and economy is different than ours. It's until things are made right, that's when it's over. What is that? Oh, it's ready! But setting off is until they are laid waste.
Oh man, my potatoes are ruined!
Ishmido othach, he destroys you. And Shomer, to destroy with open chaos thy dominion and control. So not only your power is yoked, your dominion is devastated. And this is no hopelessness, because from Nathan there is hope that Yehovah at 50, in Jubilee, the servant be made right, completed. Of course, kind of devastated in shame, in nakedness, in hunger, in thirst, but is the only way to make things right. And in God's economy, things work differently than our economy does, because everything has to be made right in the spirit. The heart has to be made right in recognizing that all worship and in serving our Lord, because He is worthy of our veneration. We cannot ignore Yehovah Eloheinu. And even in our days, if there is prosperity in our own countries, may we render unto Yehovah what is rightfully His. And given that we are image of Him, we render service. That all that we have at our times and our strength be to serve Him. Otherwise, we're going to face hunger, no lingering with Father, therefore being thirsty of Him, of temple worship, prayer, and true life, having no righteousness, and therefore naked, not ready in righteousness before Mashiach, our wonderful bridegroom who died for us, and is giving us a chance to partake in His kingdom. We were all harlots, but we have been given a status of queens and kings in His kingdom. Therefore this is the time to behave as such. And poverty was mentioned so many times, and isn't this sad? You can have prosperity in your worldly terms, but before God, are you in poverty before Him? Is the temple inside you devastated? Therefore what happens is what is in the spirit becomes in worldly terms, that people may wake up that this is no joke, or you're going to be yoked. And in complete shame, isn't it? In harshness, having no power of our own, or dominion or control or anything we have to then work our way to God. And isn't that when the period is completed, is whether you have then cooperated in his economy terms to equal in this world what has happened deep inside you. That has to be made right start from zero before Yehova. Therefore he will start to provide you clothing as thou hast brought forth out of this wasted state and this hunger into feasting with Yehova Eloheicha and Elohai as well. Thank you, Yehova, that it's not that you love to punish us, but in thy love do you chasten to make things right. And therefore may we not fall as thy people has fallen, but to serve you with joyfulness. And isn't that important? It's not just to serve you, but with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things that thou hast provided us today, before it's too late. The journey can be the easier yoke, and there is no easier yoke than the one that Mashiach has provided us to be with. And we are grateful. We cannot get rid of any yoke. There must be a yoke. But we do it with cheerfulness, Jehovah. Toda Rabba. Amen.
How are those potatoes, by the way? Well, they may be a little bit passed out, but listen to this. They are crunchy. And they're yummy.
Oh, give me some. That looks very good. May we serve Yehovah Eloheinu with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Or we shall serve our enemies in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in want of all things, and also a yoke of iron upon our neck, until we be destroyed. Oh no! Easy fix. Serve Yehovah with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
ועבדת איביך
גברoma.
אשר ישלחנו יהוה בך ברעה ובצמא ובהירון כפנה ובחוסר כל ונתן עול ברזל לצווארך את השמידו אותם